DJ, cause that's my DJ. I said go DJ, cause that's my DJ.
Cause niggas always hating on Lil Baby, bro. Lil Baby is lost and confused. Let's see what the hate is about, bro. Lil Baby said he's off social media until his album is out. You know what I'm saying? So we for sure getting a project this year from Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying? 100% sure.
Now, there was a time I would just say, well, you know, these guys are aging, but it's not even that. Like, he's lost it. And I don't know who the yes man in the studio with him that keep telling him to put out these trash-ass music. They don't got confidence in one song no more. You keep putting out 2 and 3 songs at a time, hoping you'll catch one of them, and not one of them is hitting. When are we going to really talk about this?
Generally speaking, they say what goes up must...
Bro, what is act talk? Like, act just be yapping, bro.
eventually come down. But in the case of Lil Baby, who once looked to be in pole position to replace Drake, it seems like things were spiraling out of orbit at an alarming rate. For a window of around 3 years, the rapper lesser known as Dominique Jones had more momentum and combined goodwill than any other artist in the field. Commended by old heads and seen as the leader of the new school by his contemporaries.
Bro, Lil Baby is still the leader of the new school, bro. When was this even a topic of discussion? Why? Because he dropped a few songs last year. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't consistent enough. He didn't drop an album. Why is this a topic of discussion all of a sudden? Like, why? Because he dissed Gunna and nobody knows if Gunna is a rat or not. You know what I'm saying? Gunna, I mean, congrats to Gunna. He dropped a great album. You know what I'm saying? But what's the topic of discussion about, y'all?
Baby might not have meaningfully entered the game until 2017, but he wasted no time in becoming one of the biggest names in the culture. And after a stellar mixtape run, the release of 2020's My Turn wasn't just critically acclaimed and commercially lucrative, but had one of the most fitting album titles we've seen in a while. A #1 record that came complete with a modern protest anthem that took him to the top of the charts. Baby was at the vanguard of the trap movement, and before long, he was receiving the kind of plaudits that are usually reserved for veterans of the game.
Do you know you one of the biggest black men in the world?
Sure.
To me, you the hardest young. I stamped that.
Suddenly, Baby was on such a pedestal that he found himself performing at the FIFA World Cup, something usually only reserved for megastars, putting Baby in front of the eyes of 2 billion televisions globally. But while Big Loon spoke of his current prominence and the position that it granted him, there are now concerns over Lil Baby's staying power, as, due to the combination of persistent factors, the public that elevated him are now begging him to stop rapping. Once seen as
what? These are the biggest fall-offs in all of music. Polo G, The Baby, Roddy Ricch, and Lil Baby, bro. Wow. So this is what we doing now. Roddy Ricch, I could see. The Baby, he did that to himself. But Polo G and Lil Baby, though? Granted, Polo G's being inconsistent with his music. Lil Baby, same thing, inconsistent with his music. But what are they doing differently that a lot of people is concerned about their music? You get what I'm saying? Lil Baby didn't fall off, though. His numbers last year was great. You know what I'm saying? He did over, 3.9 billion streams last year just on Spotify? And I don't want to sound like you know what I'm saying, I'm D-Rodding Lil Baby, you know what I'm saying, or whatever y'all want to call it. But let's speak the facts. Everything gonna come out when Lil Baby drop an album. We gonna really see if he flop or not. Judging by his numbers, we gonna see if Lil Baby flopped or not. If he drop an album, how many people is gonna tune in? How many people is gonna listen? That's when we could correctly say, oh yeah, Lil Baby fell off. Yeah, Lil Baby's not doing what he got to do anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or Lil Baby's not the leader of the new school no more. That's when we can make that topic of discussion. But y'all have nothing to show for that Lil Baby fell off. Nothing. All I'm hearing is, oh, Lil Baby music sound the same. Y'all just want to find something to paint the picture of him falling off. People saying whatever they want to say. Oh, all his music sound the same. Oh, the last album it sound like one whole song. Or the last album didn't meet the criteria of the other album, My Turn. You saying anything, bro. sit back and relax, let him cook. And granted, yes, he been on the media about his ex-girlfriend Jada, or you know what I'm saying, he been in the media about doing a lot of weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly though. And he spoke about it like, why y'all keep bringing my name up about, you know, doing X, Y, and Z? Cause y'all just trying to find something just to really like say Lil Baby fell off, bro.
Elevated him are now begging him to stop rapping. Once seen as a reliable source for undeniable club bangers, Lil Baby now stands accused of falling into the familiar trap of getting comfortable and milking his sound, all the while refusing to alter his sound or respond to the criticisms that he's receiving. Back at the outset of his career...
Now, I'm gonna say this, you know what I'm saying? We go watch the video. I'm gonna say this one time. You feel me? I understand where people is coming from though when they saying like, oh, his music, you know, it's starting to be a little repetitive. You feel me? Oh, he should switch up his flow and sound, which he is in a way, but at the same time, that's why I fell in love with Lil Baby in the first place, right? That's why a lot of people love his music in the first place, right? Because of why? The stuff that he's doing now, right? Right? But all of a sudden, y'all want him to switch it up. Which is fine, though. You know what I'm saying? Which is fine. I have no problem with him switching it up. Switching the flow up. You know what I'm saying? Giving us something a little different. You feel me? But relax, though. You know what I'm saying? This is why y'all niggas fell in love with bro in the first place. This is why he became Lil Baby in the first place. You get what I'm saying? But I get it. I understand.
Lil Baby, who never envisioned himself as a rapper until he was coerced into it by Young Thug, was as focused as they come, releasing 7 projects in the space of just 2 years. Lil Baby evaded distractions and kept working. Along the way, he refused to be lured into petty beefs, even when everyone tried to pit him against DaBaby over similarities in their names.
So many tried to like go that way with me, but I always curved it from day one. When it came out and he blowed up, and then it was like he DaBaby, and I'm Lil Baby. He don't sound like me. He ain't trying to like kick my swag. His name just DaBaby. It's enough money for both of us, as you see.
Possessing the kind of shrewd mindset that most rappers would benefit from, Lil Baby stayed locked in with his craft, flooding the market with new music and becoming such a safe bet that even the biggest stars such as Nicki Minaj and Drizzy solely relied on his sound to boost their EPs and singles. At the time of his peak, Lil Baby's sound was so undeniable that many respected critics expected him to be the next Drake and eclipse the man that put him on with Yes Indeed.
There was a time when a Drake feature helped Lil Baby. I think right now Drake might need that Lil Baby feature. Let's be clear, a lot of the Drake records, at least of late, haven't really taken off.
Fast forward to 2023, and not only does it not seem like Lil Baby has any chance of overtaking Drizzy, but there's a concern about him maintaining the success that he's currently riding on. Fresh from dropping a snippet like 350, which is essentially just a rehash of everything he's done for the past 4 years.
I ain't gonna lie, I like 350, bro. I like it. Even though I ain't gonna lie, it low-key do sound a little repetitive, but I like 350 though, bro. It's like, when it comes to like music and really like artists changing their sound, you can't really change your sound because you are who you are, you know what I'm saying? That's how you sound. But as far as the flow and the beat switches, I get it. I get it. You could use different beats. You could use a different flow. I understand. But as far as a lot of people saying, switch it up, switch it up, it's like, how much do you want him to switch it up? Again, this is why y'all like Lil Baby.
Baby is facing heat from his own fan base, notably Kai Cenat, while not directly calling out Lil Baby, skillfully sidestepped commenting on the song itself and instead focused all criticism on the production.
I'm not even joking, the beat's louder than him. No, fire the producer. Bro, why is the beat louder?
With some fans admitting that,
Come on, bro. What are we doing here, bro? Like, what are we doing here, bro? The beat was louder than Lil Baby, bro.
I think it's time we start having that conversation in regards to Baby's fall off. Combined with canceled tour dates across the nation, it's not a great time to be in the 4PF camp right now. So how do we get to the point where Baby's magic is wearing off? And what can be done, if anything? Well, for starters, let's broach the issue that he had in terms of selling tickets. In July, it was revealed that Lil Baby had canceled a series of shows on his It's Only Us tour, which saw Baby head venues that tend to have capacities of around 15,000 to 20,000.
Bro, oh my gosh, bro. Y'all acting like he canceled a tour, bro. He was still selling out arenas. This is what I be talking about, bro. The media sees something and just run with it, bro. Y'all just run with everything y'all see, bro. Everything y'all see, everything y'all hear. You can't believe it, bro. You just can't.
People. In essence, it's the kind of venues that someone like Drake, Cole, or Kendrick, the big threes, routinely sell out. Left with no explanation in terms of why the shows were pulled, fans immediately assumed that it was low sales that led them to be unceremoniously canceled. But while this was the most overt example of Lil Baby not being a draw, the warning signs were there even during his peak. Hot on the heels of their collab project, The Voice of the Heroes, Baby and Lil Durk launched their Back Outside tour. Staged at a time when fans were ravenous for shows after lockdown, it was immediately assumed that, by way of their combined hype, these shows would easily sell out. But, as academics would reveal on the Flagrant 2 podcast, Baby might have overestimated his own hype.
He's trying to do arenas about 10,000 to 15,000. You would imagine it's Baby.
Yeah.
They say his tour is doing bad. You'll never see him post that his tour sold out. It's not selling that much.
Alongside acknowledging that Jack Harlow opted for smaller rooms and was consistently selling out, Baby may have later posted that the tour actually grossed $15 million, but not selling out ultimately hurt his brand, because unfortunately for artists, in hip-hop, optics are often all that matters. So once fans unanimously think you've fallen off, it's almost impossible to regain momentum, regardless of the music. Take a look at someone like DaBaby, for example. He's arguably dropping the best music of his career right now, but now that the public view of him has turned, it'll always be reaching a diminished audience. In terms of how this factors into Lil Baby, this can be seen in the reaction to both 350, Crazy, and other recent snippets that he shared. Although they don't sound drastically different from anything he's released before, the response has been one of absolute revulsion from his fans. In terms of recovering from this, it's a delicate balancing act. Currently, fans are seeing in real time that it can be overcome through Baby's former collaborator, Gunna. Within the space of dropping his new project, A Gift and a Curse, Gunna went from being labeled a snitch for taking a plea deal to suddenly being welcomed back into hip-hop's good graces without cosigns from any rappers. As to how this happened, well, that actually does come down to the output to a certain extent. As while Gunna advanced musically on his new project and made something compelling, Lil Baby has remained stationary.
I listened to the project and I said, this is interesting. Keep in mind, QC pretty much froze everybody on the label and allowed Lil Baby to keep dropping singles every 4 to 6 weeks up until the release of this project. Song after song after song after song after song, which might have been good. I believe that led to watering down the sound. Lil Baby has a very noticeable cadence. His rhyming scheme, the way he drones through a hook, is very noticeable and is very replicable. It's the reason why we think he's making the same song over and over and over and over and over and over again. He dropped all of those, and then right after announced an album, and then at that moment, for whatever reason, he dropped the worst versions of him trying to make those same songs again.
Here, we have all the issues stemming from Lil Baby's latest project, It's Only Me. Following the love that his previous album received, topping the record was always going to be difficult. But during a release day interview with Angie Martinez, Baby downplayed the weight of expectation when it came to surpassing My Turn's success.
I'm not even in that same space no more to even like compare it.
But no pressure to live up to it because people love that album.
Not like pressure to live up to it because I'm not living up to that album. That was just what I had dropped. So I'm trying to like live up to everything I do, if that makes sense. That would be me thinking small. I'm on some way bigger and better.
Eager to paint his upcoming project as a departure from the past, Lil Baby's press tour implied that the next record coming down the pipeline will be full of depth that we haven't seen from him before.
I feel like my music more listening. You gotta listen to what I'm saying. It ain't really too much just shoot 'em up, bang, bang, or super catchy. You kinda gotta just like real Not saying I don't say nothing about shoot 'em up, bang, bang, because that's real too. But for the most part, I feel like you gotta just listen to what I'm saying and understand.
Facts,
When it
bro.
was released, It's Only Me did outperform My Turn in terms of first week sales. But that's about the only way it beat his previous album. As for starters, this apparent new level of introspection in his bars was completely missing.
When you're even looking at Lil Baby and the way that he actually forms his rhymes, you'll notice that from one line to the next, there's no logical continuity. He'll splurt out something random and follow it up with something that has nothing to do with the previous line. So he's not setting himself up for any punchlines on here. That hook to Hey, it's the catchiest thing on here, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing sticks. Nothing is addictive the same way that you got addictive melodies on songs like Emotionally Scarred, for example, on the previous album. This is a major regression from Baby.
Oh my gosh, bro. People just be yapping, bro. I promise you, they just be yapping, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Yo. Alright.
A record which was widely panned for its repetitive sounds, critics were quick to point to the fact that he fell off with the production too.
The production choices on this project are pretty bland too. Very thin trap beats with mild 808s and hi-hats and snares that are basically emaciated. They're so lifeless. I'm actually kind of surprised to see most of the writing credits on these tracks mentioning at least a handful of people. If I didn't know any better just listening to the quality of this record, I would have assumed this whole thing was thrown together by a skeleton crew of Lil Baby, a couple of producers, and maybe an engineer.
On top of the fact that these tracks were somewhat lacking in creativity, what also needs to be factored in is that to a certain section of his fans, they had garnered an affection for him that was left unfulfilled. When Lil Baby dropped The Bigger Picture at the height of the BLM movement, he quickly found himself with his very first Billboard #1 hit, suddenly giving an empowering track that was completely outside of his usual sound. Lil Baby earned himself a bunch of new fans. But when it came to feeding this new audience, they've been neglected. And even though Coach K claimed they all stuck around, it seems like that was temporary. As opposed to leaning into his new role as an outspoken activist and stepping territories that even Drake hasn't seen, Lil Baby has arguably gone the opposite way and is now rubbing shoulders with billionaires like Michael Rubin and Robert Kraft. According to him, he's simply acquiring game, but it has diminished some people's ability to root for him when he's constantly chasing the bag rather than feeding them with his artistry.
What have you learned from those guys?
I learned a lot. Ask questions. They know answers to questions we don't even know about. They 10-year-old kid know that, but they couldn't tell me nothing about the streets though.
Hanging with billionaires who were infatuated by hip-hop culture while he garners a physical education, it's unsurprising that Baby wants to learn the ropes of business, considering that he's already been talking about his exit strategy from rapping.
I don't want to be an old rapper.
Really? You know everybody says that.
I just always had that thought in my head, like I don't want to be no older rapper, like 35, 36.
While this could be understandable if it was just a simple side mission, some images from Baby with the Billionaire Boys Club suggest that the relationship isn't as focused for Baby as he made it out to be. Pictured in what academics described as hugging in the Oreo position, there's a sense that he's treated like a novelty by billionaires. And while ignoring the negative comments might have worked at his peak, there's tangible proof that he needs to switch his approach. And according to ACT, it starts with his recording process.
I heard a story about Lil Baby. I've never been in the studio recording with him ever, by the way. They said when Lil Baby's about to record, he usually kicks out a lot of people out of the studio. He don't like to record in front of a lot of people. Secondly, when he's recording, he never wants the recording to be played out loud. He wants to keep it between him and the engineer until it's like finalized. That sounds like your creative process isn't maybe helped, or even you're hell bent on doing what you want to do.
Listen, bro. Like I said, when Lil Baby dropped his album, I'm gonna come back to this video and, you know, we're gonna talk about it. Until then, we can't say if he fell off or not, because he's still doing numbers. You know, get what I'm saying? People are still tuning into his music. He did way better than he did that previous year. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, y'all just, I don't know, y'all just finding little things to pick on Lil Baby. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like, people do that to a lot of rappers. Now it's Lil Baby's turn to get that treatment. You know what I'm saying? That fell off allegation. You get what I'm saying? You know, it's his turn, I guess. All right, cool. So when he drop his album, when he drop a single this year, we're going to really see if Lil Baby fell off. Until then, stop with this narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because where y'all getting this shit from? Where? I'm out of here, bro.